Sarawak's food production industry is set to receive a boost through collaboration with Bangladesh. According to the president of the Sarawak Business Federation, SBF, Dato' Sri Abang Abdul Karim Tun Openg, several key sectors have been identified for development through this bilateral partnership.
Explore areas where we can collaborate, and we believe that we more or less identify the food sector which they are quite good in Bangladesh. We can explore further, and probably they can share with us their technology, especially in rice production.
He said this after a meeting between SBF and the High Commission of Bangladesh to Malaysia on Thursday. Abang Abdul Karim, who is also the president of the Sarawak Chambers of Commerce and Industry SCCI, stated that this initiative aligns with the Sarawak government's commitment under Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg in enhancing food production and related downstream industries. Meanwhile, Bangladesh's High Commissioner to Malaysia, Muhammad Shamim Ahsan, expressed Bangladesh's interest in exploring new collaborations in Malaysia, particularly in Sarawak.
I happy to recall that the Bangladesh High Commission and SBF, Sarawak Business Federation, already signed a MOC, Memorandum of Cooperation, recently, around 2 years before. I think that is a good ways to advance our cooperation, and we also need to explore and identify new areas of cooperation.
He added that discussions between SBF and the Bangladesh High Commission will serve as a crucial platform to further strategic cooperation between Sarawak and Bangladesh in emerging industries.
The latest teaching and learning facilities are essential in developing a competitive and skilled workforce. Deputy Minister of Education, Innovation and Talent Development Sarawak, Dr. Francis Harden Hollis, said this initiative aligns with the goals of the Post-COVID-19 Development Strategy 2030 or PCDS 2030.
Francis lauded Sarawak skills for providing state-of-the-art facilities like the Industrial Revolution 4.0 Trendsetter Hub, the Smart Solar House, and the Hydrogen Technology Lab. He noted that Sarawak Skills is actively implementing various talent development programs to cater to the rapidly expanding digital economy. He also emphasized that collaboration between the Sarawak government and institutions like Sarawak Skills will accelerate efforts to produce a high-quality workforce. As part of its vision as a TVET trendsetter, the institution has established partnerships with industry players from countries such as China and the Philippines to enhance innovation and skill development in Sarawak, particularly in the automotive and energy sectors.
A large-scale cleaning operation will be launched in efforts to aid residents in areas affected by the recent MIRI floods. It will be carried out in collaboration with various government agencies and local communities. Senate Assemblyman Dato' Sri Lee Kim Shin said the program is part of an initiative by the MIRI Division Disaster Management Committee.
Masa itu kita mahu di rumah-rumah yang kena banjir, ada barang mereka tak buang, barang yang rosak, sampah dan sebagainya. Jadi kita perlulah mengadakan satu operasi untuk membersihkan kawasan.
Lee, who is also the Transport Minister, said, in order to ensure the smoothness of the program, a special task force was established, led by the residents of MIRI Division, with participation from various parties, including the police, residents' office, volunteers, military forces, fire department, health department, and MIRI City Council. At the same time, he stressed the role of residents in maintaining the environmental cleanliness, especially after the flood.
Kali ini apabila saya turun, saya nampak ya banyak kawasannya sampah sarap di tepi-tepi jalan bertimbun. Ya. Ada juga dalam parit, ada parit sumbat dan sebagainya. Jadi inilah satu perkara yang kita perlukan kerjasama hebat. Majlis Bandaraya perlu juga mengadakan sistem pengurusan yang lebih berkesan.
Meanwhile, he also suggested that residents' representatives and local authorities should also have discussions to identify strategic locations for collecting waste before it is sent to the disposable site.
Police have established the identity of the victim killed in the helicopter incident that saw a Bell 206L4 helicopter catching fire while landing to refuel in Bentong, Pahang this morning. Bentong District Police Chief Superintendent Zaiham Muhammad Zahar identified the victim as 27-year-old Vincent Reski Sembiring, an Indonesian engineer who was killed by the helicopter's rotor blade.
Meanwhile, another victim, a 44-year-old Indonesian pilot, identified as Kustiadi, only sustained minor injuries. According to Zaiham, the helicopter lost control while hovering 3 feet above the ground during refueling, causing it to scrape against the landing surface before overturning and catching fire.
Dan hasil siasatan awal pihak polis daripada pihak saksi yang kami telah temu bual, kejadian berlaku pada jam lebih kurang 10.20 pagi. 10.20 pagi dilihat oleh salah seorang pengawal keselamatan yang bertugas di sini, yang mana ketika pesawat ini dia buat hovering, terapung dalam lebih kurang ketinggian 3 kaki daripada tempat pendaratan. Jadi dia punya skid tu bergesel dengan tempat pendaratan dan terbalik.
Zaiham said the helicopter, which had been carrying out work for Tenaga Nasional Berhad TNB, flew from the project site about 16 kilometers from the accident location, adding that it had permission to use the area at the campsite to refuel. The pilot was pulled to safety by a security guard who was about 100 meters from the landing site. Meanwhile, Pahang Police Chief Datuk Sri Yahaya Othman said initial investigations revealed that the helicopter, owned by Zaverna Utama from Indonesia and registered in Malaysia, was believed to be used for transporting construction materials for TNB's electrical poles, noting that approximately 6 trips were made from January 21st.
The culinary heritage of unity, encompassing Malay, Indian, Chinese, Kadazan Dusun, and Iban traditions, has captivated the admiration of the international community. Malaysian cuisine symbolizes unity in diversity.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health assures that Malaysia is not seeing a rise in influenza cases despite global reports of surging infections. According to the World Health Organization Western Pacific region, influenza positivity rates dropped from 26.19% in epidemiological week 1 to 21.97% in week 4, a decline of 4%.
The Health Ministry confirmed no human cases of avian influenza in Malaysia, with no new cases reported in the region since January 31st, 2025, with the last human case on January 1st. The Health Ministry, alongside the Department of Veterinary Services and the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, continues to monitor livestock, wild birds, and wet markets to reduce risk. The ministry emphasized Malaysia remains free from avian influenza due to strict biosecurity and preventive measures. Meanwhile, the public are encouraged to get their annual influenza vaccination and seek medical attention if experiencing symptoms like fever, cough, or prolonged cold.
U.S. President Donald Trump's administration appeared to backtrack on Wednesday after his proposal to take over Gaza sparked global uproar, with the United Nations warning against ethnic cleansing in the Palestinian territory. Facing a wave of criticism from Palestinians, Arab governments and world leaders, Trump's Secretary of State Marco Rubio said any transfer of Gazans would be temporary, while the White House said there was no commitment to sending U.S. troops.
Trump, however, insisted everyone loves the plan, which he announced to audible gasps during a White House press conference with visiting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump offered few details on how the U.S. could remove more than 2 million Palestinians or control the territory. Marco Rubio said the idea was not meant as hostile, describing it as a generous move, the offer to rebuild and to be in charge of the rebuilding. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt later said Washington would not fund Gaza's reconstruction after more than 15 months of conflict between Israel and Palestinian group Hamas. Meanwhile, the UN warned against ethnic cleansing in Gaza.
In the search for solutions, we must not make the problem worse. It is vital to stay true to the bedrock of international law. It is essential to avoid any form of ethnic cleansing.
Palestinian officials, Arab leaders and rights groups swiftly condemned Trump's remarks. Hamas rejected the proposal, branding it as racist and aggressive.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I am Razi Ahmad. Thank you for watching and have a good night.